It's time for a Painspective.
Peace YouTube, it's DJ Pain 1 and I'm back with another Painspective. Today I want to talk about a topic that frankly bores the hell out of me. That is copyright. More specifically, should we as independent artists, producers, songwriters be copywriting our songs? Law is absolutely insane, and after studying small pieces of copyright law, I've decided that I could never have gone to law school ever. So shout out to the lawyers that actually sat through and read all of this stuff and more, because copyright law is probably the tip of the iceberg as far as boring legal documents go. So having said all that, this video is advice, it's my perspective, it's not legal counsel. If you're in a bad legal situation, consult a lawyer. Also, most importantly, if there's anything you don't understand about copyright law, please educate yourselves, do some independent research. I put some links down in the video info for you to check out and arm yourself with knowledge, because it is crazy out here in the music industry. Before I get into whether we as artists should be registering our songs, I want to just knock out some quick copyright myths. Number one, I hear this all the time from artists: PROs are not copyrights. So you'll hear people claim that they've registered their music through publishing rights organizations. They'll say, I copyrighted my music through Ascap or BMI. No, you didn't. Publishing rights organizations handle publishing. They don't handle copyright. So that brings us to myth number two. The only way to register a copyright is through the U.S. Copyright Office. You can go through a lawyer, but all the lawyer is doing is serving as the intermediary between you and the U.S. Copyright Office. Lastly, and this is just a weird one that I hear all the time, artists will say that they've copyrighted their name. No. So if someone walks up to you and says, I copyrighted my music through ASCAP and I copyrighted my name through BMI, just walk away. I'm going to break this video down into two parts. Number one, what rights do you have to your intellectual property without formally registering a copyright? Number two, what are the benefits to registering a copyright with the U.S. Copyright Office? So here's a confusing point. If you never register a song through the U.S. Copyright Office, do you have a copyright claim to that song? The answer is yes, you have an original copyright. So regardless of whether or not you formally register your music for a U.S. copyright, you're still the copyright owner of that song. That means if somebody infringes on your copyright, let's say I send a beat out to somebody, they record a song to it, don't tell me about it, and don't pay me for it and upload it to YouTube, I can file a DMCA Digital Millennium Copyright Act claim against them and get that song removed. I could also, if things get a little more drastic, send a cease and desist letter. Now let's say that person who took my beat, used it, didn't tell me, didn't pay me, is making a profit off of that song. Let's say I feel that I've lost money off of them infringing on my copyright and I'd like to sue them for the profits they made and the damages I've suffered. Well, I can't do that without having formally registered a copyright. And that's a part of the law that I don't like. Because what the law is saying is, well, it's your intellectual property, so you own it. But if you want to seek legal recourse, you have to register it through us. So here's where it gets even more annoying. If you register your work before somebody infringes on your copyright, you can sue them for damages, you can sue them for the profits they made, and you will get reimbursed by suing them for your own legal fees. However, if you register your work after somebody infringes on it, in other words, if you notice that somebody stole your music and is profiting off of it and you realize, I haven't registered my copyright, let me do that right now. If you do it after the fact, you can only sue for damages and the profits that they've made from it, but nothing else. And because legal fees are so high, I'm told, suing a copyright infringer without having registered the copyright prior to the infringement occurring is generally not worthwhile. So that part sucks. So I'll wrap things up in a little analogy. To me, copyright is like having catastrophic health insurance. You're probably never going to use it. It's for disastrous situations, but let's say a disastrous situation does occur, as in somebody stealing your song and making $1 million off it and you not getting anything. If you had registered your copyright prior to them stealing your song, you'd be covered. And if you don't, well, you're kind of gambling with your intellectual property. Now, I'm not telling you what to do one way or another, because chances are if you register your copyright and it gets infringed on, it's probably not even going to be worthwhile suing based on the amount of profits that the copyright infringer made. A lot of the times, artists are stealing your music and your beats and stuff for mixtapes. in those cases, you may as well just submit a DMCA claim, get it removed, and hope for the best. But I'll say this, registering songs with the U.S. Copyright Office is pretty easy, and it's fairly inexpensive. You can upload 135 MP3s encoded at 128, roughly, for a total of flat fee, because this is what the U.S. Copyright Office charges, a flat fee of $35. So that's, again, 135 songs you could potentially register for a flat fee of $35. Now, as I understand it, if you only register 5 songs, you still have to pay that $35. If you register 1 song, $35. If you register 50 songs, $35. So you may as well take full advantage. I hope that made sense. I hope it helps some people better understand copyright law, because I'm speaking in as plain English as I possibly can. But as I said before, educate yourself. If you're a producer, if you're a songwriter, if you're trying to sell your music, it's a good idea. Hell, it's mandatory that you have legal counsel. And this extends beyond copyright. I'm talking about contracts, everything. It's a crazy world, law. So just protect yourself and your intellectual property. Until the next time, peace.